Sorry for skipping a week, folks, but let's just jump into it. Juicy Beast with Burrito Bison. This is actually the third one, Launcha Libre. Quite the unique concept. A luchador is pulled into a candy-coated world of chaos, where he must crunch, bunch, punch, and knock the ever-loving Skittles out of enemy after enemy after enemy, slowly trying to get back to his own world. And this isn't the first time he has dealt with these individuals, so you know for a fact it is quite the trip. And where other games may stagnate, where other games may just throw the same thing at you and think, oh, that'll be enough, he and his ilk come with a little more this time around. Burrito Bison ain't the only one. Not this time. He actually has a little bit of a posse, so to speak. A fellow luchador and luchadora have joined in. That's Pineapple Spank as the new luchadora in town, and she's got her own little set of weapons she can handle. She's got a kind of like a grappling hook that yanks people in, slaps them about. It's great. And there's a chicken-themed guy. He's got more of a glide as opposed to a direct rocket slam like Burrito Bison does. And it is so entertaining to see him mix it up and see who's going to get the big shot, who's going to get the KO when the new boss shows up in each beginning round, or you got to pop a new jawbreaker, a new candy-coated criminal, a new chocolate-covered critter, and the funny mariachi-style music playing in the background, the bonus piñatas that just slap around to get extra little tidbits, a little rocket fuel, a tacarazzi, a literal sentient taco that will take pictures of that boss opponent, that launching pad opponent that you have. And it's funny as hell because they will actually stop and slow down and pose for those pictures. It's great. And as you can tell, the animation is super smooth. He and his fellow luchadors are the kinds of characters I would hope and expect to see in maybe Fire Pro Wrestling World or some type of modified version of No Mercy, like the ones that circulate online. I would love to see that over and over again. I can't get enough of this. It's quick, it's simple, it's so fun, and it's definitely an all ages thing. I would trust my nieces and nephews with this. I'd let the stepkids play this, and it would definitely get me through a waiting room for sure. That's not the only game, of course. We have the Muscle Hustle. And it is handled a lot differently than other wrestling games. It is one of those, I guess you'd call it a slingshot style game. Kind of like Burrito Bison, but instead of bouncing on little runaway opponents trying to heighten your score, you're in a match, gauntlet style, with different characters. It's kind of reminiscent of Pokemon with pile drivers, for lack of a better term. And this is a world where wrestling is beyond real. And the animation's actually improved a lot since the original game. The artwork's been updated a lot. I can actually show you some clips of the original stuff right now. As you can see on the screen right now, these are early versions of the Nature Boy Nut Crusher Gant himself. That was one of the major things that happened in 2.0. 2.0 added a lot of new stuff. There's not as many static characters, whether they're standing in the background or not. As you can, look, just that alone. They weren't always animated even in the smallest amount, but even supporting characters are more lively and actually have a level of depth and characterization behind them. And that adds to it. That adds a little more, investment. It adds a little more notability. Like, oh, okay, those are some of her mannerisms. She's a little more laid back. Oh, he's a bit of a screamer. Oh, this guy schemes a bit more. Look how he wrings his hands. This guy, he's a little flirtatious. Either that or he's got something in his eye at all times. He won't stop winking at me. But the game itself is also very unique. There's a lot more strategy involved. Instead of just pounding away until you've leveled your character up, you got to figure out, okay, I'm in a tag match. This guy's got, a battle cry that he can do. This girl, she'll throw a chair if you send her in the right direction. This guy he's a bit more of a tank. Should I send him at the opposition first to absorb a lot of shots, to block and bumper and buffer for me? And then you also have the actual bounce count. It's almost like golf. It's weird. Fighting golf. Who would have thought, right? But that's what we have here. We have these characters, each and every one of them. They have a few different things about them. Some can fly. You put them in the turnbuckle, they can come off the top rope and land a big splash. And they can almost go coast to coast when necessary, depending on who the opponents are in the ring. If there's only one opponent in the ring and they're at the other side, you can see them actually clear it. And again, I'm not sure if they fixed that in the update. I haven't been able to get that far, but it is great going back and seeing all the new stuff they've done. And I wanted to start from scratch because I wanted to show everything. I mean, look at Chester. He's so clean cut now. He's updated, as opposed to the cartoon character he used to be. Check it out in this picture. Which isn't to say that the artwork wasn't unique in the original version. It was very distinctive. Characters looked like threats, but still had a certain over-the-top, sort of exaggerated wonder about them. There was mystique. There was a definitive gimmick. It wasn't just badass 1 in red tights against badass 2 in blue tights. Like, there are ballet dancers. There's a Bollywood style cop. You have hockey players from hell. You have actual supernatural forces. There are luchadors in here who are real superheroes who are on the lookout for illegal wrestling moves being smuggled in from different countries. Can you believe that? Like, literally, it is everything we joked about growing up being for real, being absolutely true. And it's so wonderful. And with the added animation that just brings it to life even more. The fact that there are actual storylines. It's got a comic book vibe to it. It is absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend you check out both of these. Please go check out both of these games. They're for free on your phone, iOS, Android, might be for Apple. I don't know, but both of these games, absolutely so much fun. You have to go check them out. But in the meantime, we're going to ask a couple of quick questions about who was showing up in the last video, and not just on these flyers, which you should be keeping an eye out for. If any of these flyers catch your eye, please pause, get the info, and go check these out live. There's nothing better than live wrestling. It may be fun to watch on TV, to listen to the commentary of the local talent that know what they're talking about, to learn the names of moves that may bewilder you, may befuddle you, may impress you, may get you interested in wrestling. Like, oh, when they did that tope suicida, that's what got me into it. Oh, that leg grapevine looks really technical and very legit. How does one learn that craft? Well, there's an academy over here in my area of town. Go check that out. Oh, okay. There are wrestlers and talent that go out of their way to do seminars. If you're getting if you've just been in the business for a little while, go check these seminars out. Pick their brains. Figure out why this person is getting booked in these types of shows. What would it take to be a part of a studio-based promotion where, they've got their own location, they've got their own camera work? Do you like doing live stuff? How do you entertain a live crowd without, prepping them, without, getting cue cards and flash bulbs to get people to applaud for you? How do you connect? Checking out these seminars, being a part of that is another foot in the door. It's another way of getting deep into the business and actually learning it instead of just showing up, running some ropes, being happy you're there as opposed to actually really knowing the craft. Even if you aren't the type to get your hands dirty one way or another, one's passion for this is always, always, always accepted. Look at the artists involved in the 2 games today. They absolutely love this stuff. The artists from last time, they clearly are drawn to wrestling one way or another. It is still so much fun. It's therapeutic. It's cathartic. It is the ups and downs of life exaggerated in a poetic manner. It is still splendid to this very day. And there's nothing wrong with jumping on now. There's nothing wrong with coming back to it now. There's nothing wrong with getting someone else interested who is going to find something in it. They'll find something, whether it is the athleticism, whether it is the drama, whether it is the characters, whether it is, getting your hands dirty. Wrestling is so much more than just everybody. There are every video games that embrace the outlandishness of it all. There are those that take it very seriously, setting up your own shows, booking your talent, training your talent, getting everything working to where you get a maximum audience. There are some that literally treat it as a quest, a mythical journey, a collection of Herculean feats one must achieve and complete before they can identify themselves as a pro wrestler, as a champion. There's so much in this absolutely wonderful world. It is great. It is for any and every audience. One of the greatest wrestling games of the modern era, and I say modern era within the past 20 to 25 years, the Def Jam series. People take that for granted, but it had some of the best grappling encounters I've ever come across. And the hip-hop vibe just added this whole gritty level to it that I never thought I would ever really love and enjoy, but I did greatly. Anyone watching today, if you're inspired by this, what is keeping you from getting involved one way or another? What's keeping you from making your muscle hustle? What's keeping you from making your Modern Mania wrestling? What is keeping you from making your brand and getting it seen and heard and understood and loved by us? There's nothing that should be holding you back. Nothing at all. So go on, get educated, learn coding, learn this business, get in the ring, tumble around, become a Renaissance soul. Why not? Nothing is holding you back. There is no age limit. There is no gender limit. There is no race or creed limit at all. If you want to get involved, you're more than welcome. You will be welcomed. All you got to do is put in the effort. And no one is holding you back when it comes to that. Nothing at all. Enough about me rambling, though. Lord knows you've heard enough of me prattle on and on and on, and I'm actually trying to make a joke about this as of now. But until next time, thank you for checking out another hashtag LockUpLookUp. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Ring that bell to stay notified of anything and everything that's going on. And hopefully you were catching each and every one of these flyers that's been popping up, because one of these is bound to be a show you're going to remember, you're going to check out live, and you're going to love. And hopefully you will fall in love with professional wrestling the way I have and the way millions of others have as well. But until next time, I'm Ian Torch. Thank you again for spending this time with me on the Lock Up Look Up. And that's it. It's over. Ring the bell.
Oh,